Hi, so I'm Lewis Dellar, for those who don't know, and I am currently under the streets of Northampton looking at doing a couple of experiments. The experiment I'm going to be doing next is what they call an isolation experiment, and for somebody like myself that is highly into the science behind paranormal experiences, this is an experiment where we can see if being isolated on your own in a location, whether it be in the dark or in a lit area, can influence things to happen. Now, whether that be from spirit or whether that be your mind playing tricks on you. So I'm going to be taking part in this experiment myself. I'm going to isolate myself into a vault at the very other end of this tunnel network, and I'm going to leave myself in there for a period of time, armed with a infrared camera so I can see through that if anything does happen. However, normally my eyesight will be completely taken out of the equation by the fact that it's in the dark, and I'll also have an audio recorder and a magnetic field detector so we can measure any unusual fluctuations in the magnetic field. Right, so it is it's just gone 20 to 1 in the afternoon, and I'm just about to start my isolation experiments. So if we make your way down with me down the stairs, I'll make way over to the end vault, which is where we'll be doing the isolation. So it's through here. Show you a little bit about what we're going past as we go. Low bridge, watch your head. Need to switch over to the night vision capabilities of the camera now. There we go. That's a bit more like it. See where we're going. So we're now into the large cellar space area. Obviously you can see lights from the street level, and you've got a window to my rear which is into a courtyard that doesn't go anywhere. So high walls, can't get to it. The isolation experiment is going to be taking part in here, into the lower vault. You can see I've set a chair up in the corner already. Doors hanging off its hinges, and I will be spending my time, watch your step because it is pitch black down here. So you guys might be able to see something, but I can't see nothing. Now, we do get asked quite a lot why we do these kinds of investigations in the dark, and if I'm honest, I don't normally. As a scientist, somebody that tries to look for the rational explanations, I find investigating in the dark doesn't really offer much in the way of evidence, any more so than doing it in lit conditions. However, from an isolation experiment, which is what we're trying to do here, it does actually play quite a big role. So, on this basis, I'll be doing the isolation experiment in the dark by sitting in this chair in the corner here. Just do a little bit of a pan around the room just so you can see there is nobody else in the room apart from me. Please ignore the skeleton on the floor. That's a Halloween prop from somebody else trying to be funny. And over in this corner we have a pendulum set up. See if we can get it to focus. Now, I haven't been over to this pendulum since it was set up, so it shouldn't be moving at all at the moment. But we'll keep an eye on that through the experiment. So when you come back to me, I'll be in position, I'll be sat down and ready to do 10 or 15 minutes worth of isolation in the dark, and we'll see what happens. Cheers. Okay. So you might be able to hear some water dripping as well. That's dripping from the ceiling up there. You see where the little mini stalactites are. Is it stalactites that come from the floor up or the ceiling down? I can never remember. Stalagmites or stalactites, you get the idea. So I can hear a vehicle driving above, might be a scooter on the path perhaps, but we are street level about 10 feet above us. Feelings wise in here, I don't really do feelings, so I can't actually say that. So being a bit of a skeptic, I don't really get unusual feelings. I'm always kind of looking for the logical answers, but I like a challenge as well, and I kind of like underground spaces. A bit sadistic, I suppose. But a couple of the other investigators this morning have already said that they feel a bit different in here today, a bit more uneasy. So let's see if I can zoom in on the pendulum a little. See if there's any movement. So audio is going to be really difficult here because of the amount of contamination we've got from outside. There is also a sensor in the other part of the building which makes a high-pitched shrill every minute or so, so we need to discount that as well. The pendulum looks fairly still. There's a lot of pendulums moving from here, but then if I zoom in it's still, I don't know if that's just a trick of the IR light even for reflecting. Now I know a lot of people will be keen to point out these and I'm saying exclamation marks orbs floating about. I'm not a fan of orbs. I've been able to recreate almost all of them over the years through dust, pollen, moisture, insects, that kind of stuff. They're very easy to recreate just in environments such as this, because whenever you've got a flash of a camera or an infrared light that can reflect a dust particle, you'll see them travelling in different directions on air currents, but it certainly does not mean anything paranormal. Some people believe that these orb-like spirit lights are the beginning stage of a ghost manifestation, of being able to see a physical apparition. After 20 odd years of investigating and especially studying parapsychology and the scientific side of the subject, I've found no evidence whatsoever to support the fact that these light anomalies are anything other than natural occurrences. So I remain sceptical. And why not? Let's try a bit of calling out while we're in here. So as sceptical as I am, I'm open to suggestions. So if anybody is in this vault with me, if you can hear my voice, I would like you to try and move that pendulum in the opposite corner of the room for me, or make a really loud sound. That was a car. Right on cue. I can hear a water pipe banging as well in the distance. This is a difficult to investigate, especially in the dark. If you're not used to a location and you're in here for the first few hours, you're not used to any of these noises. Now, we've been in here a long time now, over a long period of time, so we know what these building noises are, and we can rule them out pretty sharpish, which I think is a good thing. Some people would say, well, no, you're just trying to discount everything because you don't believe. And I'm like, well, there is an element of that. But there's also the fact that I think you owe it to the people that you're working for to do it properly. If you're not going to do it, you're not going to investigate properly, then what's the point? So I'm a little bit like the Antichrist in the paranormal world because of the fact that I'm sceptical. But I don't personally think that's a bad thing. Although there's probably a lot of people that would argue that. I can take it, I'm a big boy. So that bang, I don't know if you can see on the camera, there's a downpipe there, which is clearly open to the top on the street. And I think if somebody goes over it, either steps on it or goes over with a bike or something, it makes that bang. So that kind of explains that one. I'm kind of looking for something significant to happen. There's a strong possibility that the vault wall that's behind me, so where I'm stationed here, there's a strong possibility that that used to link up with the church, the other side of the street. It's not been proven by any stretch, but looking at all the plans and the evidence so far would suggest that might be the case. And I'd be really interested to drill a hole in the wall and put a camera through, but trying to get permission to that might be difficult. So I'd love for anybody in here that's able to hear me to walk along this floor. Walk up to me. Let me hear your footsteps. So there's a shuffling noise from outside this vault. Actually sounds like somebody walking on the floor. And that was definitely somebody walking on the floor. Camera keeps going in and out of focus, which isn't me. So we've been going just over 10 minutes. Apart from a couple of shuffles on the floor which seem to have come from over there, I've not really heard a lot, nothing unusual. Definitely hear talking outside. Oh, just got the mist in the camera then. I don't know if you saw that. That's my breath. I just thought I'd test the theory, being that it's quite a constant temperature down here, but exhaling as I do. Like that. That's quite a good effect as well, so I think that would probably put some people off. There's that pipe again. Now, I know a lot of people that wouldn't be able to hack this and they'd be out of here by now with those kinds of noises, but again, having the time that we've spent in here is really helpful for knowing that it isn't anything unusual. See if there's any movement off the pendulum. I'm really struggling for focus today. There we go. looks dead still. Okay, so if there is anybody in this room with me, if you can see me, or if you can see the pendulum over in the opposite corner of the room, I need you to move that pendulum really violently for me. See if you can knock it off the crate that it's on. Chuck it. Not many orbs as I thought there'd be. I think if I try to stir up the atmosphere a bit in my hand, I wonder if that'll trigger any orbs. I think because it's quite damp down here, I suppose you'd have to kind of kick the floor up to get some debris going. So we're coming up to 14 minutes in. I haven't felt anything significant in here at all. Feel very comfortable. Feel like I could probably sleep down here. This is the joys of being a skeptic on these investigations, I guess. You get a bit complacent. But I do like to sometimes just put myself in the shoes of, you know, just the average Joe investigator rather than the person with all the toys and the gadgets all the time, just to prove the point that I can walk the walk and talk the talk. I have no problem in spending time on my own in locations that are allegedly haunted. I have no issue with people questioning my lack of abilities, I guess, when it comes to being sensitive. And I just really want to prove the point that 99% of the time there is a rational explanation for stuff, if you look hard enough, and if you want there to be. For the other 1%, it's kind of why we keep doing it. It's kind of we investigate the methods. It's when we have trusted friends, family and colleagues that come to us with experiences that they can't explain, and it's our duty to try and work out what happened. And I have noticed that my chair is starting to tip over. I'm going to do a double check of the time. The time is up. 15 minutes, so I'm going to leave this area now. I'm just going to do a quick EMF reading test in here with the tri-field meter. I don't know if you can see that with the infrared on. I'm probably going to have to turn the IR light off. There it is. Okay, so we're at the usual levels here, nothing untoward. Yeah, nothing untoward really. I expect the levels to rise a little bit up high because of the mains, water, that kind of thing. Nothing really significant. So this is Dellar signing off. Isolation experiment done.